Can my single guinea pig play with my other guinea pigs? Let's talk about it right now. There's my Billy boy. Hey Pipsqueak. Nails and Piggy Smalls. You guys still doing good together. Snoopaloops. Hey Snoop. Oh, my little Nate. Who's noses? Care Bear. Look at that face. You want some on this side? Oh, Gary. Timmy and Mike. Get him, Timmy! You did a little ear nibble. Did you see that? It's very subtle. What's the matter, Billy? You okay? Hey, Scott here, Scotty's Animals. I just got a message from Patricia, who asked me kind of an interesting question about she has one pig that doesn't get along with her other pigs, and she wanted to know if I could let them play with her other pigs. I wrote back to Patricia and I said I need a little bit more information because I wasn't sure if her pigs were bonded, if she had pairs and then a single, because I think some of that matters. Here, Billy, I want to put you down. Okay, so a single boy like Billy, he lives side by side. He lives next to Timmy and Mike. But both of them are relatively submissive, and you can see he sometimes will sit in the corner and chew on the cage and try to annoy them. And so that's not cool, that behavior is not cool, but it doesn't affect the bond between Timmy and Mike. And I think that's the main caution when you are doing playtime, is if you have a single boy, who are you pairing them up with? If you're pairing them up with another single, then regardless of what happens between them in that interaction, it's not going to affect another relationship outside of that play date scenario. So, but for example, and I think it's okay for Billy to, in some ways, interact with and bug these two, because these two, that doesn't affect them at all. BB's squawking at me over here. Everything cool, BB? For example, if at this moment I wouldn't want to put Billy with Nails and Piggy Smalls, because I feel like even though their bond is good and their behavior with each other seems very non-aggressive, I wouldn't want to put a third in there to rile them up, or have one of them, I wouldn't want to take Nails out at this point and have him play with Billy, because what if it excites Nails and then later when I put him back, that makes him more aggressive towards Piggy Smalls, or vice versa. Vice versa meaning if I was to do that with Piggy Smalls and put him back, and it would bother Nails. If Billy gets riled up and then I put him back by himself, it's not really going to matter so much. Yes, BB? He's not gonna stay over here. He likes to just sit off camera and cry. Because it's past his bedtime right now. Okay, so the most important thing is that you know the personality of your piggies. I would say that if you have two single boys and they don't necessarily get along, it ends up in fighting, but you want them to be able to play together. If they fought in the past, I would not suggest putting them together, but you could put them on two sides of a divider in a playpen area, or let them live side by side like this. But if you have two boys that maybe occasionally chatter teeth, or you're just not confident that they'll get along, you could still put them on the floor and let them play. Wrap your hand in a towel. Always wrap your hand in a towel when you have single boys interacting, because you never know if it's going to escalate to a fight, unless of course they're bonded. But if you're not sure, keep your hand wrapped, and never put your hand in between two guinea pigs that are fighting unless it's wrapped. And even then, if you have like a dustpan or something that you can put in between them, even better. But a thick wrapped towel or a big reinforced tunnel like this will do the trick. You gotta be very careful not to keep your finger out. So when it comes to taking a single and letting him play with bonded pairs, I would say you've got to know the pairs. For example, come on Billy, let's go. Billy loves to taunt these boys. He loves to taunt everyone. Hey Billy, who's that? Is that Mike? Who's that? And it might upset them, but I know that in the end, it's not gonna rev these two boys up and rile them up too much that they're gonna bother each other. Who's that? So I do this frequently with the boys that I trust. Who's that? Right? Listen to BB crying. So let's summarize this real quick. If you've got your single boys and you want to let them sniff noses with your other boys, I think take into consideration what happens if they get excited. And if they have other cage mates, I would really caution against it, or really try to imagine what's going to happen if you let your one single boy mess with your bonded pair. Generally speaking, just like it's not a good idea to have a trio, it's not a good idea to let your single boy mess with a bonded pair, because those bonds, although I think, you know, guinea pigs, they bond hard, they bond for life. They, you know, the reality is sometimes bonds can fall apart, and one of those ways is through misunderstanding or an introduction of some outside stress. I'm gonna get you, BB. Let's get BB. Right? He doesn't want to stay, he just wants to sit off camera and cry because he hears me talking. He's like, pay attention to me. This is a really important question, thank you, Patricia, because that is what I do. I will take him out and I'll let him sniff them sometimes. But if I have a bond that's fragile, then I'm not going to let Billy or any of my single boys come in between that. So that's, I hope I'm getting my position clear. Every guinea pig's an individual. There's different personalities and different combos, and only you know how their bonds are. But if you think that if there is a bond that could be threatened, and you think that by having an interaction is going to threaten that bond, I would highly suggest against it. It's not worth risking it. People don't sometimes realize how lucky they are and how rare a solid boy bond is, but it's about 20% of the time. And when it's a really solid bond, like Nails and Piggy Smalls, I'd say that's like less than 5%. So it's really not something you want to ruin just because some voice in your head says put them together. You'd be surprised how quickly you could possibly ruin a bond like that. All right, let me know in the comments what you think, because maybe I'm totally wrong. All right.